Hello and welcome to my video presentation. I'm Dr. William Emmett Walsh, MD, allergist and immunologist, and author of How I Recovered from Dementia, my seventh book about our diet and the diseases that it causes or worsens. Today I will discuss the foods and beverages that cause so many of the diseases we suffer. Will also begin to describe my diet, a diet that has successfully reversed my dementia and returned much of my mental clarity. Before starting, I will point out that as a medical doctor, I treated food-sensitive patients for 40 years. Therefore, because of this experience, I write and speak to you as a doctor through my books and videos. I speak to you as if you came to my medical office to learn about how our diet causes our diseases. In addition to my suggestion, please also involve your own medical professionals and follow their advice, especially in determining your diagnosis and in planning your treatment. Now, to review the poisons in our diet that we know and I have already discussed, they cause or worsen many diseases of the body and the mind. I will start by discussing the refined sugar, fructose. We know that the Mediterranean diet discourages our consumption of more fructose than we tolerate. The fructose avoidance helps us fight off obesity and the diseases that it promotes: strokes, heart attacks, and diabetes. No wonder that fat-promoting fructose is one of the poisons causing the dementias. I found another food poison, the amino acid MSG, if taken in excess of our tolerance. This excess MSG is known to speed the onset of dementia, and I know that it caused my patients migraine headaches. It might also cause the tachycardias and other diseases of nerve overstimulation. Another food poison is a citrus acid group that I found a main cause of my patients' acid burn of the skin, called eczema or atopic dermatitis. I am sure that it also is one of the major causes of dementia. The fourth and last poison is the sugar galactose that researchers use to age laboratory animals, and I suspect was a major cause, along with MSG, in my episode of progression from Alzheimer's dementia to Parkinson's dementia, and then to cerebral palsy. These chemicals are normally in the body and belong in the body. They are essential for life, and as I mentioned, poisonous only when taken in excess of tolerance. We know their identity. Unfortunately, there are other poisons in our foods and beverages that I know are there, but we do not know their identity. I have hunted for them by watching for symptoms I suffer when I eat foods or beverages containing these unknown food proteins. The symptoms that I watch for when I am testing a food or beverage include restless sleep, poor walking, balance, and body stiffness of Parkinson's disease, uncoordinated swallowing of liquids, in other words, going down the wrong passage, and a complete shutdown of my gastrointestinal tract, and that causes constipation along with the absence of any bowel cramping and bowel sounds. These symptoms help point out the foods and beverages where these poisons hide. Another great help in my search is my bathroom scale. I use it daily and suggest that you do the same. If my weight starts to climb, I know the food that I am currently testing contains a poison that I have not yet identified. I want to find these poisons before their damage to my brain and to my life are too far advanced. Farmers or food manufacturers introduce these excessive amounts of fructose, MSG, galactose, and the citrus acid into our foods and beverages because they taste good. Nature placed the unknown poisons in the food plants to defend them from being eaten by mold, insects, and animals that do not help spread their seeds. The defenses they use are the poisons that are in our vegetables. Food plants grow in the soil and must have the ability to protect themselves. If the poisons were not there, mold, insects, and animals that do not spread the plant seeds would destroy the plants. Plants that cannot defend themselves are not in our diet because they do not survive. What happens when we eat these plants? We also eat their poisons. How do we defend our brains from the plant's load of poison? By the blood-brain barrier that prevents them from freely entering our brain. What happens as we grow old and the blood-brain barrier deteriorates and develops holes that let the poisons into the brain to damage and kill the brain's nerve cells? The correct name for this brain damage is dementia. I cannot prove that the information I just gave you is correct. I think it is entirely right. Knowing this scenario helps you, as it helped me, understand the cause why we suffer dementia. It also shows us a way to reverse the dementias. The way is to avoid the plants that contain these poisons. Another way is to learn how to cook them out of our foods. If you can't cook them away, you can at least avoid these foods. I have experimented with many vegetables, including lettuce, cabbage, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, spinach, and many others. All have activated my symptoms associated with my dementia, including restless sleep, uncoordinated swallowing, stiff and poorly balanced walking, and some impaired thinking. With beans, I tried especially hard to eliminate all poisons by boiling these beans for an hour, draining them, freezing them to break up any remaining internal structure, and then straining them through a wire mesh. These were well-cooked beans and this cooking should have stripped the beans of any poisoning. Unfortunately and unbelievably, they still cause the same symptoms. Unfortunately, I cannot include vegetables in my diet for people severely sensitive to foods. I feel bad about this because vegetables should be part of a healthy diet, and they are a prominent feature of healthy diets. I believe that all people suffering symptoms of the dementias should include vegetables in their diets as long as the symptoms are mild. When the symptoms reach the severe stage of dementia, as mine have, beans should no longer be in their diet. So let me restate 4 things that I believe. 1, that the failing blood-brain barrier allows poisons into the brain, causing the dementia. 2, that we cannot stop this barrier destruction as we age. 3, that when we reach a severe stage of dementia, we should avoid eating vegetables. And 4, that we desperately need a way to patch up the blood-brain barrier. And all I can say is good luck on this last one. That would be very hard to figure out how to patch up that barrier. I will continue to search for a way to include vegetables in the diet of those suffering severe dementia. Watch for my future books and videos. Thank you for coming to this video. I invite you to return to the next video as I finish my description of my diet.